I did another video about Stevens Plantation. It was about the fountain at Stevens Plantation, and this is the entry fountain that I talked about on the other video. We're next to a busy road, busy parkway. I mentioned in that video that we were fortunate to have a really wide right-of-way to deal with. And so I was able to create a walkway, that experience that you really have a difficult time being able to have in a lot of newer, more compact situations. We were able to, of course, use the plants that we had in mind for a lowland, a low country kind of landscape. And so that's the plants. We have magnolias and natchez, the beautiful exfoliating bark of the natchez. It's been over 20 years, so landscapes don't live forever. You can see that some things just finally die out on you. Often that's because of these plants here, these variegated kind of plants. They weren't even on the market whenever we designed this particular project. But anyway, so what we're looking for is having an undulating berms and a winding walkway that you could walk through the landscape and enjoy the landscape and sort of feel like you're, right now there's not any cars driving by me, and I feel like I'm just about out in the country if I didn't have homes here to the right side of me. And if these people had put up some major landscape in their backyard, some trees, it'd feel even more like what we were thinking about. But you can see that we have berms, and the berms, the walk reacts to the berms. It has trees and other landscaping that we're walking through and around. So as you walk through and around the landscape, it's quite different than walking right down the side of the road. And we're going to get up here in just a minute to where we're on the side of the road. And it'll feel a lot more like a regular subdivision kind of road experience at that time. Although, again, in this particular situation, you have the berms, the width of the berms, and you're able to put a significant amount of trees over here so that if you're in a lot of subdivisions, you'd just have one tree every 30 or 40 feet, and that'd be it. And because there wouldn't be room to put in utilities and other kind of things. So this is sort of a more everyday suburban or urban kind of experience right now. Of course, we've got entryways that have their own designs, their own unique designs. And I did signs for these entryways. And again, the landscape, after 20 years, there's things that happen to landscapes, so they get modified. But the basic structure of the landscape remains, and that's pretty critical. People can still, whether this is my kind of planting scheme, today that I would have designed. Well, it's not. They changed it. Now, this right here, this is pretty much what was designed in a mature state. That's a typical kind of landscape that we've been doing. And you can see, so this was a split entry. And then if you keep going, you can see this pretty. Where are you going to go? Look how that walk winds through the berms and through the landscape. It creates an interesting situation. I'm going to go across the street here. And you can see, once again, as you approach the intersections, we had to get the sidewalk down to the intersection. So, cars coming. So it's not quite as exciting these are the original plantings here though. It's not quite as exciting again, because we're right here next to the traffic, but you can see as you walk along that you start to experience that undulating berm as you move through the landscape. And so we felt very what's the term? Fortunate to be able to have berms. This is Florida. You don't see berms like this. You just don't have room to do a berm very often. A berm that you got berm on this side, and then we come back over and we meander the walkway, and so you're constantly walking through situations like this, all the way through, around berms, around trees, through plantings of different types, enjoying the trees, the great canopy. There's a Muskogee crepe myrtle, and we've got the you can see the cones coming out on the cypress trees, and be able to enjoy some nature as you walk along. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. In your own landscape, are you able to do this? Not at this scale, but you can still keep these kind of things in mind. You can do it. People often put meandering things that have no reason in the landscape. We gave the meandering a reason. We created the berms, we made sure there were trees and things like that that made it feel like a natural pathway, something that the cattle would walk through. Before you ever put in a trail, you'd be dealing with the wild animals would meander through the landscape in a similar kind of way. So, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a good day.